Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is John Campea, and this is a companion video. What are companion videos? Well, I'm awfully glad that you asked. See, every day on the John Campea Show, Monday through Friday, we take time to take live questions, but we don't always have time to get around to all the live questions that get sent in. But I want to make sure those questions that get sent in get answered properly in a video. So we gather up those unused questions and we address them here on companion videos. Now, today is Thursday, August the 15th, and these questions are ones that are left over from this morning's John Campea Show. So let's not waste any time and dive right into it. And we're going to start getting caught up today with one from Terry Giordano, who writes, "Not a Western guy, but damn, Yellowstone is great. I'm telling you what, I'm also not that big of a Western guy. I'm a really big fan of certain Western movies, never been much one into Western themed shows, but Kevin Costner's Yellowstone is one I am constantly hearing good things about. And much like Pennyworth and Doom Patrol, shows that I really wasn't interested in seeing, but I kept hearing from you guys was really good. Yellowstone is one that I'm constantly hearing from you guys is actually really good. So it's one, even though I'm also not a big Western guy, Terry, I think that's one I'm going to have to check out myself here pretty soon. So I'm going to keep my eye open on that. All right, thanks for that. All right, Dirk Diggler writes, "John, I remember that you said that when Avengers Endgame would be released for home video, you said that you would do a commentary with you and Rob. Please do one with the entire cast." Yeah, I'm not entirely sure I'm going to do that. For a couple of reasons. Now, I'm not sure I'm not going to do it. But Endgame is 3 hours long. It's a long effing movie. To do a commentary for that long of a movie is a bit of a pain in the ass. I definitely, what I can tell you I won't be doing is I definitely won't be doing one with the entire cast, because every time, understandably so, when Rob or Aaron or Chris or whatever appear on the show, I have to pay them, right? Because this is work. This is a job. I don't ask people to work for free. I pay people when they show. And that makes doing that video an expensive video to do. That makes doing that video pretty expensive to do. So I definitely don't think that would be happening. So I don't know. I'm still not 100% sure because to be quite frank with you, I don't know when I'm supposed to do it. Like, I already work 7 days a week. I do shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, except for on the rare occasion when I'm on vacation. So I'm not really, and I'm working, 12, 14 hours a day. So I'm not really sure, even if I wanted to do an Endgame commentary video, I'm not quite sure when I would do it. And it's not like it's a half-hour video. It's a 3 hour long thing. So that probably about 5 hours of setting it all up, recording it, doing quick post-production on it, all that kind of stuff. I just know when I'm supposed to do it. So I'm not saying it's not happening. Let's be clear. I'm not saying it's not happening. But between the expense of doing it and the time to do it and figuring out when on earth I would do it, and the fact that it's a 3 hour long thing, I'm just not positive. I'm not positive at this point, but it's not a dead issue yet. I will continue to consider it, but I can't say it's definitely going to happen. That's the unfortunate thing. All right. Anyway, ZOMG Ruler writes, "It was Bernie Sanders going to a rally on Sunday." Oh, that's right. Because you mentioned B. Sanders. I'm like Barry Sanders, Colonel Sanders, whatever. But okay, so Bernie Sanders going to, there you go. Now I know what you're talking about, ZMG Ruler. Thanks for clarifying that. All right. Roy L. writes, "John Voight, Angelina Jolie, Denzel Washington, John David Washington, Goldie Hawn, Kate and Oliver Hudson, Kirk and Michael Douglas, Jerry and Ben Stiller." See, that's the thing. I think you misunderstood, Roy. So earlier on the John Campea Show today, we brought up, Lloyd Bridges came up, and we mentioned Lloyd Bridges is the son of two big stars as well, Bo and Jeff Bridges. Both award-winning actors and stuff like that, had great careers, both of them, all that kind of stuff. And I said, it's very rare. Like the Skarsgårds are another one because you got the dad and a number of sons who are doing well. I said, you don't see that often. Now, what I wasn't talking about was one famous parent with one famous kid. So John Voight, Angelina Jolie, Denzel Washington, John David Washington, Kirk and Michael. There's lots of that. But what I was talking about specifically was when you had a really successful, famous parent with multiple famous, successful offspring in the same business, right? So you got Bridges, and then the Bridges boys. You've got the Skarsgård. So there's not many of those. And high level of success. High level of success. So for that level, yeah, you can mention lots of parents with one famous kid. I mean, yeah, you can do that. But what I was saying was the really rare thing was like famous parent, multiple siblings that have achieved a lot of success as well. So that's a little bit different, Roy. Roy continues on with Tom and Colin Hanks, again, single. Tony and Jamie Lee Curtis, single. Henry Peter and Jane Fonda. That's a good one. The Fondas, that's a good one. The Fondas is a good one. Ethan and Maya Hawke. I wouldn't call Maya Hawke a star at this point. She's been in one or two things. She might turn out to be a big star. I'm saying I wouldn't go there yet. But even then, that's just one parent. We were talking about a parent with multiple talented kids who've gone on to great success. So a little bit of a different thing there, Roy, but I see where you're coming from. All right. DMV Fan 123 writes, could you last long in Hell's Kitchen show? Oh, I like to cook, but of course not. I'm not a chef. I'm not on a chef level. No, I wouldn't last long in there at all. I'd be out of there pretty damn quick. That's for sure. DMV Fan 123 also writes, and have you been to a Gordon Ramsay restaurant? Oh, I've been to several of his restaurants. I was on his Kitchen Nightmares show, actually. It's funny because every time the episode re-airs, I can always tell when this episode is re-aired because I get a ton of messages on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook saying, I think I just saw you on Kitchen Nightmares. We were on an episode, Ann and I were just for a moment, we were on an episode of Kitchen Nightmares. And that was fun. But so, yeah, I've been to several Gordon Ramsay's restaurants, particularly in Vegas, because, Ann and I like to go to Vegas a lot. My favorite restaurant, actually, in Vegas is in the Paris Hotel, and it's Gordon Ramsay's Steak. That's the name of it. And it is my favorite restaurant in Vegas. It's a little pricey, so we only go about once a year, but it's a little pricey, but it's outstanding. And they have this dish, which I guess is supposed to be Ramsay's signature dish. It's his beef Wellington. They have a beef Wellington for two on their and I think it's $100. This is why we eat there like once a year. But I think the beef Wellington is like $100 and something bucks itself. But it's so effing good. It's so good. Everything in that restaurant's amazing. I'm also a really big fan of Gordon Ramsay's Burger, which is in Planet Hollywood. I've also been to Gordon Ramsay's Pub, which is in Caesars. And then he had a restaurant in LA too that I've been to as well. So yeah, I've been to a number of Gordon Ramsay restaurants. I generally speaking, by the way, if you're in Vegas and you don't want to go super expensive, Planet Hollywood, Gordon Ramsay's Burger. We eat there 3 or 4 times a year. And it's burgers. It's gourmet burgers. They're awesome. They're really, really good. If you get a chance to take those in, DMV, I highly, highly recommend them. All right. James Argenta writes, where are we at? There we are. Over under 27%. Third Star Wars series is announced at D23. Well, I mean, they've already kind of announced a third Star Wars season, but will they get a little bit more official with it? I'm going to guess. I'll go over 27%. I don't know that I'd say 60% or 70%, but 27% is kind of a low number. So I'll take the over action on that. Now, one of the things that I 100% believe will happen is we're going to get the next Star Wars Episode 9 trailer. It's been 4 months since the first one came out. We are now 4 months away from the movie releasing. So I think this is the perfect time. It's at D23. So I definitely think we're getting a new Star Wars Episode 9 trailer. As far as a third Star Wars scene being announced and given more information, I'll go over 27%, but not a lot higher than that. Not a lot higher than that. Not at this point, anyway. All right. Stubble McShave writes, will the MCU maintain quality if Feige leaves? Well, it all depends on who takes over. So look, where this is all coming from is this. I believe, no insider information here, this is just me saying, look, Kevin Feige is a creative guy. And he's driven for success and all that kind of stuff. What I have found in many industries, whether they sports, entertainment, restaurant, whatever, when a highly creative dude who's driven by success has basically achieved everything they can achieve where they're at, they start craving new challenges. They start craving new mountains to conquer, new horizons to explore, right? New challenges. And when you look at a guy like Kevin Feige, The point I was raising on the John Campea Show earlier, and that I've mentioned several times before, is that there's nothing left for, other than some minor things, there's literally nothing left for Kevin Feige to do at the MCU, except just repeat what he's already done multiple times. That's all that's left. He's made not only his film franchise, but the genre of comic book movies to be the most dominant force in Hollywood today. The number one blockbuster films in the world. One of his films is now the number one box office film of all time, Avengers Endgame. Over the course of 23 or 24 movies, they are just about averaging $1 billion a film. Think about that. That's unimaginable. Absolutely unimaginable. He's done it all. He's even had one of his films nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards with Black Panther. And now all that's left is just keep doing the same thing. There are no new mountains. Now, one of the viewers brought up earlier today on the John Campea Show, it's like, integrating the X-Men into the MCU. That I concede. I think that's the last great challenge for him to do, is to successfully integrate the X-Men and mutants into the MCU. And it's not going to be easy. And I think that's going to be a big creative task for him. But other than that, for Kevin Feige, it's just copy, paste, step and repeat. There's no significant challenges left for him at Marvel. As such, I think at some point, that driven part of him is going to start to feel antsy. He's going to start to feel unsettled. And I think that ambitious, driven to succeed part of him and the creative part of him is going to really start yearning for a new challenge. I mean, there's just nothing left for him to do there. So I believe within maybe the next 3 or so years, I think he's going to leave. I think he's going to love it, and he's going to leave it, and he's going to leave it in great hands. The question is, will the MCU maintain quality once that happens? And the answer to that is it all depends on his succession plan, right? Steve Jobs when he was running Apple, he knew succession was an important part of his job description. Getting the company into a place and priming another leader to take over for him to continue the ongoing success of the company. That was a big part of his job. He understood that as a major part of his job. And when he realized he wasn't going to recover from his condition, he wrote, you can find this, it publicly came out, but he wrote a letter to the board of Apple saying it's time to execute our succession plan. It's time to put Tim Cook in place. And what's happened under Tim Cook? They just continued success after success, most valuable company in the world, blah, blah, blah. It's just gone on. So one of Kevin Feige as a leader, one of Kevin Feige's responsibilities is to have a succession plan, to have a plan in place that when he goes, that the company will be in a great position to continue success because he'll have the right leader in place. And he'll have groomed and worked with that potential new leader to be ready to step in and take over and keep the ship going in the right direction. So will the MCU maintain quality if Feige leaves? Well, that all depends on if Kevin Feige does his job. If Kevin Feige does his job and is grooming one or two people to be ready to take over in a case of succession for when he moves on to take on new challenges, whether new challenges will be new franchises, maybe heading the creative arm, a production of a new studio, whether it means taking over Lucasfilm, whatever it would be. When he goes, whether or not the quality at the MCU maintains is completely up to Kevin Feige doing his job now and properly prepping the next leader. Does Kevin Feige have a succession plan? And since he's been there for over 10 years already, he better have a succession plan. And understanding how meticulous Kevin Feige is, I highly doubt he doesn't have a succession plan in place. Now, I don't know who that person will be. I don't know which person that will be. But he, I believe, has a succession plan. And if you believe Kevin Feige's a good leader, there's no reason to doubt that the MCU will be able to continue on with success if he's done his job. And there's nothing ever has been suggested that Kevin Feige doesn't do his job. So, yeah, I believe that once Kevin Feige does leave, whether that's next year, in 2 years, in 3 years, or in 4, I don't believe it'll be much more than 4 years at all. But when he does go, he'll have a plan in place. He'll have the next person ready to step into his position with the blessing of Alan Horn and Bob Iger. They'll step in, and I think everything will carry on perfectly. I think everything will carry on perfectly because Kevin Feige will do his job. That's what I think. At any rate. All right, final one of the day. And then we're all caught up. Comes to us from Chef DMAC, who writes, "Hey, John, Mindhunter Season 2 premieres tomorrow, which is exciting." Now, I'm not going to get a chance to watch it this week. I know this week is packed. I'm not going to be able to watch it this weekend. This weekend is packed. But I'm very excited for Mindhunter Season 2. You know, we talked about a little bit on the show earlier today about how Mindhunter was just not the show I thought it was going to be. And I mean that in the best possible way. I thought it was going to be something completely different, and it ended up being this incredibly brilliant show that I adored the first season. We've been waiting forever for season 2. It's here now, and I cannot wait. I mean, I'm going to have to wait because I'm a little busy over the next week or so, but I can't wait to start diving into this and getting caught up. All right, guys, that will do it for this installment of the companion videos. We only had a few pages there to go to get caught up, and now we are all caught up. Thank you guys for being here. Listen, don't forget, the John Campea Show returns again tomorrow. That's on Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be live at 9 a.m. Make sure you guys are here to join me for that. We're already working on some stories that we're going to be talking about tomorrow. I hope you're able to join us then. Special thanks to all you guys who sent in all those questions, for a couple of reasons. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported the channel while you're doing it, and I thank you for that deeply. All right, guys, that'll do it for me. Thanks a lot for being here. My name is John Campea, and until our next video, bye-bye.